Hello, everyone, and well, here's the question for y'all. Do you guys know who and what shapeshifters are? If you watched my videos with enough attention, then you should surely remember bits and pieces of information regarding these mysterious guys that I was giving to you. And in case you answered yes, here's the real question. Do you really know who they are, though? Because recently I found out something that will actually make you go crazy about the whole Skibidi toilet lore and its recent episodes in general. What shapeshifting really is, and who is capable of manipulating such technique? Are shapeshifters really the new race which is going to come and help the Alliance in this war? Or maybe they are something drastically different and even frightening? And most important thing is, were they really here from the very start? If you want to learn all the answers to these questions, then get your tea and snacks ready and prepare to watch this video to the end, because it's going to be totally insane. And let's go. And be sure to also give this video a like and subscribe to my channel where I make a lot of Skibidi toilet content while you are waiting for the next episode to get released. Okay, so if you are subscribed now, let's continue. Okay, and in case you don't actually have a vast knowledge on who the shapeshifters are, don't worry, because I'm going to give y'all a quick introduction first in case you missed my analysis of episode 77 part 1. Where it was explicitly implied to us for the first time that all those chairs appearing in earlier episodes were actually there for a reason, and there can also be an explanation of what they are. So there was a moment in the first part of episode 77 where the POV could see the chair quickly flying over to the right side. So the POV rushes at it in order to finally find out whether all those mysterious chairs that could be seen earlier are comrades or enemies. And in the territory nearby where the chair was supposed to be, he sees nothing but this interestingly lit ATM machine, or maybe the telephone box. There isn't really clear what exactly this object is, as it's quite far away. Could it be just a random object that Boom put on this episode's map, though? More than unlikely, given not only the obvious exposure spot where this box could be clearly seen at, but also the lighting, which makes its presence even more obvious. And I think that you guys know it better than myself, how Boom doesn't do anything just for Nada. And if we see some suspicious detail that it's most certain to be a part of some puzzle we are meant to figure out later as the plot of Skibidi Toilet series progresses. Do you remember how in one of his latest interviews with Russian Skibidi YouTubers, he said how there are still some very important details no Skibidi analysts managed to find yet, or mysteries that are still unwrapped? Which means that even the smallest details can be extremely important. So let's put two and two together. We saw the flying chair literal seconds before disappearing on the spot the POV arrives on, and instead of it, our cameraman finds some really out-of-place box which looks as if it isn't supposed to be here at all. And before I'll start revealing to you the nature of a shapeshifter and who these creatures actually are, let me address one thing really quick. I know that there's also a possibility that the chair could actually teleport away the moment who crossed the POV's line of sight, and the light that was flashing at it in the moment of its flight could be in fact a sign of a teleportation occurring. After all, the secret agent always has the green light next to him whenever he teleports in or out, so such an observation could make quite a lot of sense. But if it really was a teleportation portal light, then why would Boom give us an opportunity to look at the frame where Chair was in so much detail? Not to mention putting that ATM machine or phone box for a reason into the episode, and he also made sure that we'd notice it and take a really good look at this object. That's why I also think that teleportation would be way too easy for this chair to escape. Plus, it wouldn't tell us much about the creature which was pretending to be this chair. And that's where we enter some really spooky territory. Because oh boy, did I think over so many options on who this mysterious box can be, how exactly the chair got turned into it, and how all of that mess can be actually connected to the new race, which was teased to us a literal eternity ago at this point. Let's start step by step. First of all, why do I even consider the chair and the box object connected? And why I think one could be physically turned into another? Here's the thing. Boom was inspired by some external media factors really often, such as memes, movies that recently came out, some news even, and of course games. And recently his connection to gaming sphere, especially mobile games, was stronger than ever before. Remember his collaboration with Fortnite that directly tied him to Epic Games? Or how he engaged in good old Roblox activities several times to gather some Skibidi hype on different platforms? And well, not to mention that basically the whole Skibidi Toilet series was built on the legacy of Gary's Mode, which also ties Boom's creation to Half-Life games. And I'm telling you all this to prove one interesting theory. I believe that Boom could get really inspired by the game which really hyped a lot some time ago, which was called Prop Hunt. And well, the whole point of this game was about the player who could basically take an appearance of any object in the game, such as table, ladder, part of a house, and yes, also chair. The goal for him was to hide somewhere and blend with the rest of the environment in order to not get noticed. And that got me thinking, what if these mysterious chairs we saw throughout the latest episodes of the series are actually capable of doing the same thing? And by that I mean that they are not even chairs, but the representatives of the new secret race which is actually able to take an appearance of whatever object they want. So I can imagine them being some sort of stealth warriors or something like that, whose special ability is mimicry, and who are just observing the war events between the Astro faction, Skibidi Toilets, and the Alliance's forces. And because the mimicry ability is really unique as hell, it would make the series even more interesting, considering how the race which is having such a cool ability can fight not directly but somewhere from the shadows. But I must also point it out right here, that I really doubt or even do not support the idea that whoever is hiding themselves in a form of chairs could be computer men or someone linked to them. It doesn't mean that the appearance of computer men is totally impossible somewhere later in the series too. But right now, I incline to actually think that those creatures with an ability to mimic objects are a completely different species which act independently from whatever fraction that is present in the series, the secret agent and the shady government he works on included. But in case those creatures aren't computer men, who they actually are then, and what do they want? And well, the positive thing to think about them is considering them our allies right from the spot. We almost take the new race, aka the future Alliance's helpers, for granted, and we think that they are to appear only with the purpose of strengthening the weakened agents. And in case the positive option is actually true, well then the Alliance is lucky for real. Because who said that the abilities of those mysterious shapeshifters are actually limited to turning into some harmless objects only? What if they are actually capable of turning into some futuristic weapons, massive pieces, or even freaking people? Well, not people exactly, but other agents of the Alliance and even toilets too. Now take a pause and think about what I just said more deeply. Because this would actually be insane. Because seriously, if those shapeshifters can take on the appearance of not only stationary objects but also mimic living creatures or at least their external forms, then their potential influence on the battlefield would be astronomical. Imagine an entire battalion of shapeshifters blending seamlessly into the enemy ranks by disguising themselves as Astro Toilets, infiltrating their squads and gathering important information before the real fight even begins. So even if the Alliance misses some key agents right now, such opportunity would still give it so much options to win in battles with even elite Astro Toilets if only they'd know their weak spots from the beginning. Sounds juicy as heck, huh? Well, if only they really intend to help the Alliance. The funny thing is, what if they don't? What if they are observing everything that's going on, but don't participate directly yet, because they're only gathering data for their own activities? And to make it sound even crazier, what if they were doing that since the very beginning of the series too? Remember, they can be literally any object. So they could be witnesses of Skibidi Virus and even Alpha Hills Project since its dawn, and now they just started revealing themselves because it's time for them to act soon. And this is where things get murky. We don't know their motivations yet, only possibilities. And one possibility suggests that they're neutral observers, a species simply trying to survive in the chaos of this massive war. And if this is true, then their mimicry ability might not be used for war at all, but rather as a defensive mechanism to blend in and avoid detection. So maybe they won't be directly helping neither of this war's sides, but only try to make the war over in general. But there is also another possibility which might seem really unsettling. What if their nature is actually just as evil as Astro's, if not even worse? And if their motivation is control or destruction, they could be the most dangerous faction yet. Just think about a group of beings that can infiltrate undetected, manipulate living agents, and also turn any object or form into a weapon of war. They wouldn't even need big numbers to dominate, as their ability to create such chaos from the inside could destabilize even the strongest factions just with the actions of one shapeshifter, which really seems to be OP as hell. And knowing how Boom actually dislikes OP characters with Sinister from Dom Studio Multiverse as an example, I really doubt that the shapeshifters would be implemented in Skibidi plot like that. So now let's talk about what other things they might be able to turn into. We've already seen hints at stationary objects like chairs and possibly phone boxes or ATM machines. But what if their range goes far beyond this? They could transform into anything within their mass limits, from small items like coffee mugs or data drives to large-scale assets like artillery pieces, tanks, or even drones. And I've already suggested how they could also mimic not just physical forms, but also the functionality of the objects they imitate. A shapeshifter that becomes a computer, for example, might be able to hack enemy systems. One that turns into a medical device might infiltrate and sabotage the recovery centers, and so on. And if they can actually mimic living beings, toilets, and agents, like that innocent flower from the leak that Steak got from Boom yesterday, or replicate humanoid forms with such accuracy that even close allies can't tell the difference. Like, damn, imagine a shapeshifter posing as the secret agent himself. The confusion it could have caused would be really insane. So ultimately, whether shapeshifters are allies or enemies, their presence would really create a whole new layer of craziness to the Skibidi universe, and honestly, I'm all in for that. Because even if 1% of what I just said in this video would come out to reality, it would change the Skibidi series just like that. So many new plot twists, possibilities, my mind really is racing right now. The shapeshifters could be the ultimate wild card, turning into anything, anyone, and anywhere. And what do you guys think? Are they here to help the Alliance, wreak havoc as independent opportunists, or side with a faction we haven't even seen before? Let me know your opinion in the comments. And it's also possible that either Astro Toilets or the Alliance would have to find a way to distinguish the true person from the fake one. That sounds so much more interesting than just a simple teleportation gimmick. So I will definitely look forward to the future episodes to finally see what Boom prepared for us next in terms of this new awesome race. And that was all for today. Write in the comments below your own opinion, as I am always interested to read what my viewers think. And be sure to subscribe to my channel not to miss my new videos, and also to my Discord where you can contact me directly and get lots of info for my subscribers only. And that was me, Iso Toilet. See ya!